Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki. There is an advertisement which put in the newspaper which says, we have a secret weapon with us. You can make fast money. Fast food, fast money. You must be wondering, what is this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's class? He's talking about money making. So what happens? A lot of people go there and sit and watch the person who is very skillfully presenting his case as how to make money. There was pin drop silence. No mobile was switched on. Everything was, especially WhatsApp, that keeps going. Even that was off. So he started speaking about making money. And, well, you could see the interest is, if one's benefit is there, if one is going to be benefited with the money, look at the interest it is. We are ready to sacrifice WhatsApp also. So the point what I'm trying to make is, Srila Prabhupada was a best spiritual businessman. He knew how to attract people. He had a command over attracting people to take up to Krishna consciousness. The thing what he had is sweet voice, his heart was clean, his spiritual thought process was totally dependent on his Guru's mercy and Lord Chaitanya's blessing. His one-point program, how can I fulfill my desires of my spiritual master? There's one thing which was there. How can I? He meditated more than 35 years to do it. The result of his meditation is today we are all sitting here. Is it not a great thing in the world? You can attract people with anything in this world. By talk with God in the center is very difficult. The moment you say God, everybody will run away. But here is a person, use the same God and attracted, and we are all sitting here today. So you are, the progeny of that blood is flowing in all our body. We have to meditate on these things, that what are we going to do by getting this? Every festival of their lordship should enthuse us to go forward. Yes, what we are doing. There are some natural things we already do. But Krishna consciousness is inherited by the spiritual master. That has to be meditated on, and it has to be followed through parampara. So why I took up this example is that so many of us are here 5 years, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. But still there's confusion in the mind that what am I looking for? What is that I'm supposed to do? We may chant Hare Krishna. We may have a nice Krishna Prasadam. We may doing everything. It's going on fine. But there is something which is not triggering inside. Why it is not triggering? It's not I'm telling. It's there in the Shastra. So, if you take up this particular sloka, Suchi Chepa, what is that? Tadvi, which is that? The third sloka, Tad, Tranadapi Suni Chena Tarorapi Saishna Amanena Manadena Kirtane de Sadahari. So, the sloka is, everybody we chant, we practice it, we know the meaning. But really, the last portion which says, Kirtaniya Sadahari, is, you have to have this quality to do that. So unless we have those qualities, yeah, we are doing, we are continuing, we are mechanical. If there is a transformation from the material energy to spiritual energy, that means Trinadapi Sunichana is acting. So you don't have to ask others to do. You can test yourself. Am I making progress spiritually? Materially, there is no doubt. Our karmana Daivanetrana, he makes sure, Krishna makes sure you are perfectly, you reap what you have sowed in your life. So, we're not going to check your bank balances, but what I'm trying to say is, you're enjoying your reaping. But that is limited to this, the very life, the moment we stop breathing is finished. Where we are going to go. So, any pastime of the Lord, if it is doesn't go with tattva, then it doesn't reach the heart. We may glorify the Lord. Oh, Lord did this. He was playing around the flute. Everything is fine. But is it touching my heart? Is it that which is making me take up the Krishna consciousness more seriously? Nobody is going and coming and asking you that, will you take care of your children? Will you take? It's a natural process. But here is a spiritual master who is coming. Fine, your body is there, but I'll take care of your soul. That is Srila Prabhupada. He said, body is there, no problem, but I'll take care of your soul. So this is what ISKCON movement is all about. It is not just Hari Katha, but Hari Katha with Tattva Darshan. It shows the path. You have to push that. Because that is to do with your mind and your soul, nothing to do external. Nobody can snatch that right of you interacting with your mind and the soul. Nobody can do it. But when we leave it open, then everybody will come and occupy there. If Krishna is there, Maya is there. Huh? If Krishna comes, Maya goes out. So this is what our life is all about. From the day, early morning we get up. By the end of the day, we are tired. We don't know what we have made progress. So what I said, Prabhupada is a very good businessman. All the early morning Mangalarti program, he pulled off in the morning. So the morning program, what we practice, keeps us the day, throughout the day. But that morning, whatever 3 to 4 hours what we did, is actually the crux of our progress of Krishna consciousness. So, I will go from Bhagavad Gita, then we will discuss something about Chaitanya Charitamrita, and we will end with a Bhagavatam on sloka. Am I right? Did you all hear? Yeah. And I will try to link this thread of this particular sloka, which is most important for us. Is it okay? All right. Haribol. So the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 34th verse. What does he say? Tad vidhi. Now, what is the meaning of it is, sloka you have by-hearted. You know the meaning. If the meaning is touching your heart, that you should see. He says, just learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. Today, if this movement is on the success theory, because of this sloka, everybody learned from Prabhupada and they sincerely follow. We don't know Krishna, we know Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, do this, we do this. Right? So today the whole Americans, where they were there, what did they know? They didn't know anything. But they knew Prabhupada. They loved him. And whatever they said, he took it out. So the word what he's talking about, Krishna is telling, is inquire him from submissive. Now you can connect the submissive from that sloka, which Lord Chaitanya is talking about. So the more we start connecting this is, unless the humility aspect does not arouse in naturally from our body or our mind, the end result is ego, it will stop there. We cannot make progress. So the first formula of humility, which is there, which will connect you with the super soul. Super soul sitting in the heart, we are also there. The distance is, very minute, but still there is so much separation. Is it not? But if it is for an acharya, if you go through an acharya, he doesn't think anything else. Everything he sees through Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada taught us, So what does Prabhupada say in the purport? The path of spiritual realization is undoubtedly difficult. The Lord therefore advises to approach a bona fide spiritual master. I am stressing this point. Bona fide spiritual master in the line of disciplic succession from the Lord himself. No one can be bona fide spiritual master without following the succession. The succession, when I am talking about, immediately you should think of our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, not any other things. Because we are, by some mercy, we got Prabhupada in our life. So our life of journey of spirituality started from Prabhupada. Don't give place of Prabhupada to anybody else. He is the one. He will be the first and he will be the last, as long as you are here. Right? I'm sure nobody is going to be 10,000 years. In ISKCON, everybody go. But the point I'm trying to make is, spiritual master is very, very important, a role in our life. Just like the parents make an important role in our children's life, it mattered for us. Our parents took care of us. Today they took care of us, that's why we are here. Now, they took care of our body. But here is spiritual master, he says, I will take care of your body as well as your soul. Iha para, both I will take care. And who is that? Parampara. So here comes Srila Prabhupada. So decisively he is emphasizing on, yes, disciplic succession, and he should be well realized. And he says that original spiritual master should be coming from Krishna. So one has to approach a bona fide spiritual master, receive, in the purport he says, to receive such knowledge. Such spiritual master should be accepted in full surrender, and one should serve the spiritual master like a menial servant. One more point I'm connecting now. Service, menial service, without false prestige. So naives, anarthas, very difficult to. That's why Prabhupada says very difficult to practice spiritual life. Among devotees, certainly somewhere or the other it will be there. Oh, I am better than you. I chant better than you. I do better deity dressing than you. I cook better than you. So many things can come up. That is right. It is there. But when we are practicing this sadhana bhakti and somebody tells you you are nothing to decide, I decide for you, then where is the question of you giving credit to yourself? You can't pat your back. I should pat. So first aspect of understanding is that you don't have existence. Your existence is because of spiritual master. Why I'm telling spiritual master? Yes, Deha Dehi is given by the parents. That's there. But they have limitations. But here is a spiritual master who is representing Krishna, and Krishna is telling that the moment you leave this body, you follow me, you will come back to me. I'm sure here everyone who is sitting here wants to go back to Krishna. Am I right? I think it can be a little bit more. At least I'm inspired. So the point I'm trying to say is that every word of these things should not go to the mind, it should go to the heart. Okay, mind can be the media. So don't let your mind also come in between when we are practicing this kind of Krishna consciousness. It will answer all your doubts and you yourself feel, oh, I'm making progress. With humility. That is that. Humility also follows. Now let's see what Lord Chaitanya says. Now Krishna established, he told Arjuna, for Arjuna, Krishna was there. For us, who is there? He said parampara. Now Lord Chaitanya, what does he say? Let us see. He says, Brahmanda Brahmite Kone Bhagyavan Jiva. Guru Krishna Paye. How many of you got this? What? You have not got Batila Beach? I thought you are all recipients of Lord Chaitanya's mercy. Is it not? Doesn't matter. That seed is there. It is sprouting or not, we will think about it later. Now can you say you got it? Yes. Now I'll go to the next question. Whether it is sprouting or not, we'll see. Now he says, what does he say? He says, Guru Krishna Prasade Bhaktilata Bija. When I'm discussing this, please don't think of your neighbor, think of yourself. Because always, sometimes we get a feeling that it is for him. No. Today's class is for me, that's why I am also speaking. It is for you, thinking, what is it for me in this? Right? So now, what does Lord Chaitanya says? He says, according to their karma, all living entities are wandering throughout the entire universe. First. So we were all wandering. Right? We still wandering. Right. But we have landed in ISKCON. Yeah. Then what he says, some of them are being elevated to upper planetary system. Some are going into the lower planetary system. Out of many millions of wandering living entities, one who is very fortunate gets an opportunity to associate with a bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. Now you can think, wow, I've got this. The point is, he says, by the mercy, if you all think Srila Prabhupada is that spiritual master, is it not true that you are a recipient of that Bhakti Lata, that mercy of their Lordship? Is it not? So the next thing is, you have, Krishna has given direction, you have approached the disciplic succession, in the provinces you are wandering, and you did not go to upper planetary system, you did not go down, but you have landed up in ISKCON. Correct, no? Tell him, correct or not? Because he says you go up, you down. But I am telling you, you have come to ISKCON on the shelter of Srila Prabhupada. So what he is telling is, you will get a bona fide spiritual master. That means you are more fortunate. First one, from there we learned from Krishna. Now Lord Chaitanya is telling, you are fortunate if you get a bona fide spiritual master. So now, 11th canto, 2nd chapter, 29th verse says, Durlabha manusho deho dehanam Krishna banugraha tatrapi durlabham manye vaikunta priyar darshanam. He says, for a conditioned soul, human body is difficult to achieve. I am correlating with how fortunate you are. I am giving you Shabda Praman from the Bhagavatam that you have to understand how fortunate you are. You are a son of or a daughter of a very rich merchant. You have everything in this world. In the same way, when we get a bona fide spiritual master, you don't require anything. You have Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita. That is established by Lord Nityananda Prabhu. He says there is nobody else. It's only Lord Chaitanya. He is my father with a mother. So when we talk about that spiritual through the Atma, it will directly relate with Krishna only, nobody else. Because Krishna also emphasizes in Bhagavad Gita, I am the seed-giving father. He did not say Lakshmi is giving you the seed-giving mother. He didn't say that. Even he is coming out of Krishna. So Krishna is complete. He is inclusive. In the same way, Lord Chaitanya is inclusive. I will establish that when you go a little more further. So here, what does Prabhupada says in the purport, very strong points he is making. Prabhupada states in that purport, in the life come from life. He says, living beings move from one body to another. The form already exists. The living entity simply transforms himself from one apartment to another apartment. How many people have changed apartments? Many people have bought here also, around temple. But this apartment will be good, don't worry. So one apartment is first class, another apartment is second class, and the third one is third class. Suppose a person comes from a lower class to first class apartment, the person is the same. So, but according to his capacity of payment of karma, he gets his better apartment. Now, durlabha mana deho. That means to say, you have done something that you have got a human life. So, one more credit into in progress of our spiritual life. No, there will be crashes in between, don't worry. But we will see how we can overcome that. So, Lord Chaitanya had three ways of exhibiting himself. He exhibited himself as a devotee, as a simple devotee. You've seen his life, how it is. Then the second aspect of Lord Chaitanya was a perfect acharya when he's coming in disciplic succession. Right? He is a perfect acharya in that disciplic succession. The third aspect of Lord Chaitanya, which is very rare, he revealed his supremacy, that he is Radha Krishna to few of them. So that is very selective. So that selective is abundantly available in Gaudiya Parampara. So that means today whoever is sitting and following in the Gaudiya Parampara, so we have these three aspects of Lord with us. Right? So the easy way and the process of understanding is, if we understand, I'm going towards that particular sloka, if we understand that properly, our life is made. We are success 100%. Nobody has to come and judge that. You yourself feel, oh, I am going in that direction. So Lord Chaitanya's 3, what is it? As a devotee, what he did, he was serving everybody. Till he got his spiritual master, he gave him, the moment he gave him Diksha, the whole thing transformed. So in the same way, we all have got Diksha. We have the holy name. But what happened to Lord Chaitanya? The moment he got initiated, he became mad. But we were mad, we are becoming saintly. Because we were mad with Maya Devi. She will plunder us outside. Take this, buy this, complete. Shop this body, that body, woman's body, child's body, so many things. So, that is why we are going backwards. If you see that time and again, you have to understand how fortunate you are. Don't miss that link of your journey when we started that. So this is the point what the next point comes up is that 3-1. So Lord Chaitanya here, he was 16 years old when he defeated Digvijay Pandit. Now, Lord Chaitanya was a Pandit. His way of humility to defeat Digvijay Pandit establishes the fact how humble he was. So this is where we have to put our understanding points there. Focus there. How did he defeat the Digvijay Pandit? So humble you are. So this material world is full of egoistic people. Very difficult to take them to Krishna consciousness, including us. We asked so many wonderful questions the day we came to Krishna consciousness. Before that, somebody came and asked. We asked hundreds of questions. I'm going to defeat this guy. But after some time, that humble devotee made you sit here today. Is it not? We were proud of ourselves earlier. Oh, I was so-and-so, my parents so-and-so, I came out of IIT, I came from BBT, I came from so many tags were there. And you told him, I'm this. After a few months, that same person going, oh, he says, no, I'm a servant of a servant, he says. Is it not true? So, this is what the association master matters so much. What did Lord Chaitanya say? That fraction of your association with the devotee, with the book, that devotee with a sweet meat made you change your life. What does Lord Chaitanya say? Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha. So has it not applied to all of us? Someday, one moment we met somebody and today we're sitting here. Chanting 16 rounds, getting early in the morning. So many things have transformed in the life. So there are external aspects which is changing. Then, so now the point which I am trying to now make is, when did this sloka he give? In the 47th year of his life, maturity. When Lord Chaitanya was asked, give us some instructions, give us something. At that time, he gave this instruction. That means maturity matters a lot. So he was practicing what he was preaching. That's what Prabhupada did. So somebody can just make it like that. But Lord Chaitanya didn't like that. You go through his series of his pastime, what the way he was humble. He humbled so many pandits. So if you have to today to preach in the outside world, you have to become humble. You have to become, with humility only you can, reach out to the people. So these are all the things which will, sue people to our parampara or come to this temple. So humility is, it binds. Jesus Christ did the same thing. His humility, people, started following him. So Lord Chaitanya related with humility and this loka is very, very intimately connected because he practiced it. Then, so now he did not do, he gave 8 slokas. In that 8 slokas, he is talking about Cheto Darpana Marjanam. He's talking about glorification, Nam Namakari. The third one he is talking about, that is Trinadapi Suni Chena, Tarvapi Saishna, Amane Namana Dena, Kirtaniya Sadahari. So one who is humbler than a blade of grass, more forbearing than a tree, who gives due honor to others without desiring it for himself, is qualified to chant the holy name of Lord. Chaitanya Charitamrita, 3rd canto, 6th chapter, 239 verse. It is not an ordinary sloka. So if today, if we have not made any progress in the Harinam, that means to say there are 3 steps which we have to look into it. So the Acharya explains the 3 aspects. He says, you can only become qualified if these 3 things ripen your heart, then your kirtan, it will touch Krishna. So these 3, what are these 3 things he's talking? First is Tranarapi Sunichena. You can understand yourself. If you analyze yourself, how qualified you are. When you say, I'm not qualified, then you are not such a big personality in the material world. All right? What matters is internal. That is why you have to become naturally humble. You have to inherit this quality by not superficial, not by heart. We'll go further. You will know how you can achieve this. Then the second one, what he's trying to make is being tolerant. Taror avi saishnuna. There is so much disturb around us. You can't deny it. And tolerant, you have to be necessary. Family life, you take sannyasa also. There also it's a problem. Now, you can say, no, I cannot be tolerant. But certainly you're tolerating, Maya Devi from so many kicks she has given you, but still we will sleep under her lap. Is it not? We forget. So that means you are tolerant only to the wrong person. See, these are all things which you have to meditate on oneself. Then our progress will be, which realization. So the whole of Chaitanya Charitamrita, all fully realized devotees, their action speaks for itself. Everything what they were doing was based on these things. They were so humble. We can't even imagine. You can't imagine that Vasudeva Datta, the worms would fall down from his leprosy. He would pick that and put it back. Impossible. Huh? Can we do that? Can we at least clean the floor? Look at the humility. So the point here is tolerant. We are tolerant to certain selective things. Certain things we are not tolerant. So that means this mind, if it directs you in a particular direction, you are very happy. That is fine. But tolerant. Go and ask a person who has got cancer. Not devotees. Non-devotees. Go and ask him. He will say, cancer bandbitide. आ गया अभी कुछ नहीं कर सकता मेरे को भोगतना पड़ेगा. He uses his word because doctor told him कुछ नहीं कर सकता, your number of months. So that guy, his industry is going to die, even though he has so many desires, but he accepts it. You cannot help. So why should we come to that situation, accept like that? So tolerance is there. Fine, you tolerate the abuses, then tolerate the abuses of sadhana bhakti. If the sadhana bhakti you can tolerate getting up early in the morning, doing your prescribed rounds, or at the most trying to serve the guru, hearing the Bhagavatam, all these things. That is sadhana bhakti which will help you. The tolerance level of that 3 to 4 hours, what is there, will let you, catch up, which will make the 100% there. Then the third aspect of amanena manadena. Wow, this is most difficult aspect. But at the same time, if you want a job, what do? Humbler than blade of grass. So there is selectivity. I am trying to find flaws in mine. I am not trying to find faults in you. I am just trying to share with you is how we can empower ourselves to move further. It's not that it's not there. I'm just sharing the fact is, yes, these qualities are there for the wrong reasons. So what the right reason is that whenever you want some work to be done, you will catch their leg. What not you do? Is it not? If you want to get one license for your house building, go and see what all he has done. So if you want a job, you have to go. If you want a school seat for your child, how many namaskar you have done? Parikrama. Govardhan parikrama we do. So it is not that we don't do. There is there. Amani is there. Because that is the inherent quality which is there. Dormantly sitting there. You have to eject that. Give one kick. That is this sloka. Tranadapi suni chena taroipi seshna amane namanadena kirtane sadari. So these three aspects, what I am trying to say is, this is there with us, but we have to, move towards understanding, yes, this also has to be done. All right, do that. But when you do this, your spiritual upliftment takes that lift. So, Prabhupada says, being ambivalent, get time. How much time? 10 more minutes. I have to be tolerant. Okay, let me rush. So, give honors to others. Everyone wants some respect. Give it to them. So, if you analyze the Rupa Goswami's character, you learn everything. What did he not have? He had everything. He had position, born in a good family, well read. But when he went and met Lord Chaitanya, understood what he is, he fell like a rod. It says, I don't know, people call me I'm so and so, but I don't know anything about myself. This is humility. So Lord Chaitanya is speaking these verses to Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. What has turned? So many of you are in the same parampara of Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, good position in the world, a lot of money, well family, beautiful children. Very difficult to surrender to Krishna, is it not? But still you are sitting here. That means Brahmanda, Brahmite, Kone, Bhagyavan. That Bhagya you have. Oh, Bhagyam. Brahma is, putting his head like this. What fortune all these gopis have done. That the Krishna is, playing around with them. Many places these words are used. So when you read the Bhagavatam, when you read Chaitanya, when you connect these things, what is not a pastime, it's a realization. Because Brahma is thinking like that. You are no less than a Brahma in your house. You are no less than a Brahma in your factory or your whatever you are. But when you think like that, Krishna is happy because you are thinking of Brahma, but now you are taking Bhagavatam, Krishna is pleased. He will relieve you from that. For devotees, Krishna doesn't kill them. He will reform them. For non-devotees, there is a possibility that he has to change their body. For Hiranyakashipu, the same lap, what gave mercy to Prahlad, gave death to Hiranyakashipu. So mercy and compassion is there. At the same time, death is also with him. But both are actually elevating. So here in Krishna consciousness, the question of death doesn't come. It reforms us. Right from. That's why when a pure devotee curses us, corrects us, you don't have to worry. You change for good. So, continuing in that direction, Srila Rupa Goswami, nice pastime of Rupa Goswami and Gopala Bhatta Goswami. Once they were discussing about on sloka. So Rupa Goswami discussed with Gopala Bhatta Goswami about one, that sloka I am not quoting here. So he quoted that. It was very nice. It came from his heart. And Gopala Bhatta Goswami learned it. He says, very nice. Can I make a small correction, he said. Rupa was, no problem. But he knew there was no mistake in that sloka, according to the acharyas. He knew very well. But look at his mood. No problem. Whatever you say, I'll accept. So he corrected that sloka. The moment he corrected the sloka, Rupa Goswami took it with humility. He says, thank you very much. But there was one more person watching what was happening. That was the nephew of Jiva Goswami was watching. Then Sanatana Goswami and Gopala Bhatta Goswami left from that. And so when he was going, Jiva Goswami caught up with him and said that, you corrected that sloka, and I find that sloka is correct by itself. Why did you change? Then he gave the reasons why it is correct. The moment he heard this, Gopala Bhatta Goswami goes back to Rupa Goswami and falls at his feet and says, I'm sorry I corrected you, babe. And he asked him, how did you arrive at this? No, I was corrected by Jiva Goswami. Then Gopala Bhatta Goswami goes off. And here is a point for us to meditate. He says, he calls Jiva Goswami, you're not fit to be in this place. This is Mahaprabhu's movement, you go from here. What else do you want? Shabda Pran. So if you don't have humility, this is not a place. But if you are sadhana bhakta, so first thing is that humility aspect has to be inculcated in our life. And Prabhupada was a foremountain in. Today he won this world who are still full with puffed up people. If he has established such a wonderful movement, it is because of his humility and is dependent on his Guru Maharaj. One thing what Srila Prabhupada was mentioning in his, when he landed up in America, I was thinking about when he said that, I have come to this place. You want to make me dance, you would make me dance. Sometimes I wonder whether Prabhupada is making Krishna dance or Krishna is making Prabhupada dance. If Krishna has come here, is it not Prabhupada made him dance? No, you please look at this aspect. How Prabhupada, wherever he went, he spoke to Krishna. He says, you stay here. He established Krishna everywhere. Who is dancing to Krishna? This? Whether Prabhupada is dancing or Krishna is dancing. Why I am establishing this fact is, such a pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada is, he could establish Krishna anywhere he went. He could establish Krishna in a car shed. And the same deities became big palace and they are building a beautiful palace in Mayapur. So Krishna can place anywhere. I mean, Prabhupada can place Krishna anywhere. So ICC also is one recipient where Prabhupada wants a Krishna temple here. And you people are the custodian of this legacy. You are coming in this parampara. We have to promote this. We have to preach. We have to expand. Yesterday, Maharaj was giving class. Kritu Prabhu. He said, 51 you all retire. I was myself thinking, my God, 51 may retire ho jao. I was thinking everybody will walk away from here. So he said that. But the point is, it is true that 51 we have to make. Prabhupada said you have to retire. But the thing is, we are not in Dwapar Yuga, Satyuga, such sudden changes happen. Maybe I won't be surprised if our children retire even at 30, 40. Because the Krishna conscious movement is growing. The more Krishna conscious movement grows, Maya Devi's effort influence will come down. 100 to 200 years from now, you can see more devotees will be inside ISKCON than outside. It's going to happen because it is a revolution happens right from Shankaracharya time. When he started preaching, it was spreading like anything. Madhvacharya came, he started spreading. Lord Chaitanya came, he started spreading. And Prabhupada, he took from all these acharyas and he went to America and he exploded it right where it's going to the nook and corner of the city. Prabhupada never spent so much time in Russia. It is expanding like anything. Because Prabhupada desired it. So if Prabhupada is desiring if this to happen, who should help him? His disciples, his followers. So if today you have recipient of Srila Prabhupada, somewhere or the other you have to understand, you have to contribute towards his movement's growth. Don't think just we give money, that's it. No. There's various ways of preaching to Krishna consciousness. By money you can't make devotees. By relationship makes devotees. So if Trinarupi Sunichena is not inculcated in our heart, you can't make relationship even including the house. If you can't build relation with your children or with your parents, that means somewhere we are wrong. You have to put that effort of this aspect of, because ours is an inclusive aspect. If something which cannot be done at home, how it can be expanded towards. So our house is this Bharatavarsha. So when he says Brahmanda Brahmite, we are all spread over. Today you are in this part of the city. It is your birthright that you have to make this movement grow in this part of the world. You all have to take this onus on oneself. Whatever little you do it with sincerity. Do it with commitment. Let not complacency come in that way. If complacency come, okay, he is doing it, no problem. Our brahmacharis are there, they will do it, it's okay. No. You contribute somewhere or the other. Pray to your neighbors, somewhere or the other. That takes 100%. So it is a unified world of Krishna consciousness. So this Trinarupi Sunichena Taropi Saishana is so important. That connects with three aspects. What does Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur come? Because he's already told me the time. I have to get going. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, the transcendental conception of thinking, I am the dust at the lotus feet of my spiritual master. The second one, I am the servant of Guru and Krishna, is meant to be Jivadaya Namaruchi Vaishnava Seva. Now, Jivadaya Namaruchi Vaishnava Seva. I'll go from the last. So Vaishnava Seva, when you start doing Vaishnava, Vishnu or his devotee Seva, actually begins our progress in spiritual life. So this is from where, when we start, because the day I came to Krishna consciousness, little become I serious. First thing I was shown, why don't you clean certain things? So the cleaning process is there. That means a servant comes to your house, she will come and she will not ask you that I will do this. Nowadays they will tell, but earlier it was not like that. They will come, they will tell, my dear sir, what should I do? Nowadays, they will come and say, I will only do these things. Because the position has changed. The fact of the matter is, the position has changed. But according to the Shastra, Vaishnava Seva, your identity is Dasanu Dasa Dasa. Nobody has said this. Lord Chaitanya himself has said that. Today is his appearance day. We have to meditate on his points, which he is telling time and again. So, if Vaishnava Seva is done nicely, then what happens next point? There is compassion coming up. Jivadaya. So compassion comes in the heart. So everybody. Why we have only compassion to our own children, our own swajana? Because relationship is there. The wide relation I have got with his neighbors. We don't have this. So that is another point. When you see everybody is progeny of Krishna, where is the elimination? See, every jiva around you is a recipient of Krishna consciousness. Correct or not? Say Haribol. So the point is, sometimes I go into slumber. If you don't say Haribol, then I can't move forward. So the Vaishnava. Then comes Namaruchi. This is told by Bhakti Siddhanta Swami Thakur. You do these two things, then automatically taste develops. That's why Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu emphasized on this. The parampara is going in that direction. Bhakti Siddhanta Swami Thakur emphasizes on this sloka and he gives this meaning. Now I will go to Krishna Kaviraj Goswami. Now listen very attentively, very important point. Krishna Kaviraj Goswami says, he himself wrote this Chaitanya Charitamrita. He is making this point. Oh, I am raising my hand, taking a vow. What vow he is taking? Please listen, devotees. Urdhva buhi kari kaho suna sarva loka nama sutra ganti parama kanti ye sloka. What is that sloka? He is telling that Trinarapi suni chena taropi saishna amanena manadena kirtane sadahari. Please make a garland, put it around your neck, he says. So you will go home and put on that there. Huh? This. He says, that means to say, our Vajja Vaidurya jewelry is this. Is this beautiful characteristics of Trinarapi Sunichena, all the four characters which is there. He says, sew it and make a garland and keep going around. And who is telling this? Krishna Kaviraj Goswami, not an ordinary person who wrote Chaitanya Charitamrita, glorified spiritual master. He is highlighting it. He goes further. He says that Uttama Hana Vaishnava Habe Nirbinna Jiva Samanadina Jani Krishna Adhishtana. Although a Vaishnava is most exalted person, he is prideless. Now we are calling ourselves Vaishnavas. He is defining a Vaishnava is most exalted person. He is prideless. Gives respects to everybody and to everyone. And he makes another point. You should know everyone. Everyone is a resting place of Krishna's feet, he says. Now you should find a heart, take out your heart and see where is Krishna's feet. So he says, be careful. Every person you meet on the way, Krishna is sitting in the heart. So how do you be with him? No exemption. I am not making your life miserable. Please, sorry. I am trying to make us understand sometimes we are obligated, our spiritual masters, some obligation we have to commit. So when your progress of spiritual life, some amount of time you have to keep it for him also. Like fixed deposit. Whatever other doings you are doing, that will sit in one compartment. But whatever you are doing in another compartment, for the spiritual master, that sits in another compartment, which is not material. Whatever you do, good things, it will be there. It will get ready for your next birth. But what you do for your guru will not allow you to go to the next birth. It will take you back to Krishna. So that is what he is telling here is, Trinarapi Sunichena. So if you don't contribute towards this planning of Sunichena, Trinarapi Saishna, then it is very difficult for us to go back to Krishna. Because the Namaruchi does not come. I'll end up in 5 minutes. Okay. Now, he gives the example. I know so much. No one knows as much as me. Be free from this ego. He is talking about now Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur was beaten in 22 marketplace. But he was tolerant. Then, example of Prahlad Maharaj. He was tortured like anything when the parents. Are you thinking your parents are not torturing you? Actually, if you see subtly, they are torturing us also. Suppose you want to go to temple, hey, pagal ho gaya kya? School jao. So if you see from spiritual viewpoint, what they think it is good, it is not good for you. What you think is good through Shastra is good for you. So, it is not that the parents, whatever they are guiding us, materially should be okay, but spiritually you have to go through Bhagavad Gita. That's why they will never give Bhagavad Gita into your hand. Today, if Bhagavad Gita is, Swayam Prakash goes to every school, gradually he'll be a master here everywhere. Then he gives Bhagavad Gita to all students. All the teachers will become their students. Because every student who takes up a Bhagavad Gita and starts reading, he will correct the father. Like, you are supposed to be teaching me Bhagavad Gita. I am teaching you. You are not practicing. Come, let me teach you. So who is Guru? Who is Shishya? We don't know. All right? So a person who takes up the Krishna consciousness through the mercy of Prabhupada and our devotee here certainly is going to make tremendous progress. Now, Bhagavatam, come to this point. Canto 4, Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 6th chapter, 47, purport. What does Srila Prabhupada says? Very sweetly he says, Krishna conscious movement has been started to deliver envious persons. He didn't say good persons. Krishna conscious movement has started to. So one day you were envious? I don't know. You can tell for yourself. I was envious. So he says, envious persons of the world from the clutches of Maya, even though the devotees are sometimes put into trouble, they push Krishna conscious movement in all tolerance. Today, if they are going to be tolerant, that is because of the mercy what they have received from Prabhupada. Because when you go, how even Nityananda Prabhu was pelted stones. And what to think of in the present world, we have seen in Russia how devotees were persecuted. So many places. They are even in Bangladesh we are seeing today. Right? We are only glorifying people who die in the Pakistan border. But the people dying for Krishna, nobody knows. It's so important. So in that Prabhupada says, continues, he says, one can chant the holy name of Lord in the humble state of mind, thinking himself lower than a straw in the street. One should continuously think and then start. Now let us come to Bhagavatam, Prachetas. What is Lord Shiva is speaking about? Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 24th verse, 70th verse. He says, O sons, he's talking to all the Prachetas. Shiva is advising. He's telling, therefore, O sons of king, the supreme personality of Godhead is situated in everybody's heart. What did I say before? What did Krishna Kaviraj Goswami say? What did he say? Everybody's heart is the recipient of Krishna's sitting there. Now the same thing is talking, Lord Shiva is telling the same. That's why Parampara always make sure it will come in pakka. There is no ambiguity. Everything is systematic, no complications. Just time, place and circumstances, certain things are added or principles remain the same. Details could change. Now Lord is therefore chant the glories of the Lord, meditating upon him continuously. He uses the word asakrit. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says, Kirtaniya Sada Hari, with this mood. So Prabhupada emphasizes in that purport. So many places Srila Prabhupada emphasizes this particular sloka in his purports. So by going this, still we are miles apart from this sloka. That means somewhere or the other we have to have a course correction. So if that course corrections happen within the heart, I will tell you there is a tremendous change in our life. Okay, I'll come to the last. And so there are, in conclusion of this particular pastime of Chitraketu, then there is Parvati and there is Lord Shiva. It's wonderful how Lord Shiva actually is interacting. Now you see the how we become impulsive certain times, even in high positions we are in. So when Lord Shiva was speaking about the Bhagavatam, giving his lecture, he was preaching to all these people, Parvati was sitting on his lap. And Lord Shiva, you know, he has a bare body. And Shiva is sitting. And Chitraketu, he was blessed by Sankarshan. He was a great devotee. He was a pure devotee. And he was going like that. The moment he saw there, what happened was, suddenly he saw, Lord Shiva, he is such a great person. How can he do this mistake? That's all came into his mind. The moment he says, he chastised. But there was no reaction from Lord Shiva, but somebody else reacted. It actually hurt. It is supposed to be somebody to the husband, but the wife is reacting. Generally it happens. Somebody else get the beating, you suffer. This is material world. So the moment Parvati gets instigated, she curses him. Actually the affected person is Shiva. And the person who is correcting him is Chitraketu. And here is Lord Parvati. And the way Shiva corrects Parvati, he says, oh beautiful wife, she says. Look at the humility of catching somebody's attention. He did not boss over her. He uses the word, oh beautiful wife. You are supposed to be a beautiful woman. Your heart should be also so beautiful. So whatever mistake, what he has done, he's actually is nothing wrong. He's just correcting me that way. And the moment you cursed, look at that person, he didn't react. Already he had changed, Chitraketu. So if you see this triangle, how a pure devotee among us can, place us in the right place. So if Prabhupada becomes that one point of our contact and his disciples and this movement, this institution, we are blessed. Somebody or the other will protect us and go, and they will recognize our faults. So today, don't feel bad if somebody comes and corrects you, even though you may be right. So accept with humility. This is what it is. It is difficult. I'm not going to say it's going to. But there is no harm in practicing. Practice, practice, practice makes you the... So the final shloka of today's class. It comes from Krishna explains to Uddhava in Uddhava Gita. He says, my dear Uddhava, now Uddhava is reacting to what Krishna is speaking. So when he starts speaking, he starts Uddhava Gita. There is an exchange between Krishna and Uddhava. Now Krishna has told him that I am going to leave this world. Now you have to take over. So in that process, Uddhava is speaking now. He says, even though neglected, insulted, ridiculed, envied by bad men, or even though repeatedly agitated by being beaten, tied up, deprived by one's occupation, spat upon or polluted with urine by ignorant people. The point what he makes, one who desires the highest goal of life, in spite of all these difficulties, uses his intelligence to keep himself safe on the spiritual platform. Now if somebody comes and urinate on you, you will rip him off. The same one comes, the child comes and same urinates, you will carry it. Oh, very nice. What is the difference? Both are urine only. The consciousness matter, relationship matter. Who is doing it? Because the child, it's my blood. He can kick me, he can do. In the same way, Lord Chaitanya says, Krishna, do anything with me. You kick me, but you keep me at your lotus feet. The prayers are correct, but to the wrong person. The thinking process is correct. The relationship is correct to the wrong person. So relationship matters a lot. With identification it goes. So here he is telling, a sthita prajna, if he has done anything you do with him, he is not bewildered because he is sitting on the transcendental platform. He is sitting in a nice place. So sitting in ISKCON today is the safest place. But not progressing is a dangerous thing. Somewhere or the other you have to evaluate. I can't or you can't. You have to evaluate yourself. Arey yaar, kya ho raha hai? You can't get bewildered when your child is 10-year-old. All right, he becomes 40 years, still you are telling my putta, you are going. What is it? This is all fine. That relationship is there. That is for the child. You are somebody's putta. You are somebody's child. He is waiting. Our guru is telling you, please come. I will take you back to Godhead. No, my putta is there. I don't want to be your putta. So the Shastra, Praman, exposes this naked truth. One has to dig into it. Take the plow of Balaram and dig your heart. it will open up, or rip open, and slowly these things will go. So the seed of this bija is there. It is sitting there. So it's not sprouting. I was telling you, what is there? The seed, it is still there. Now you have to open, put some fertilizers, that is this. Trunadapi sunichena, tarairapi saishna, amanena manadena, kirtaneya sadere. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So, thank you very much. Please forgive me if I have wrote some passion or things like that. I'm just trying to share through the process of sadhana bhakti. We have wonderful Srila Prabhupada in our life. We have his disciples. We have a beautiful institution. We have Krishna Prasadam. We have beautiful kirtan. And a matter of time, we are transiting from this small temple to a big temple. If you don't get ready to enlarge your heart, the people who are lying there will not come in. So each one of you open your heart. Temple door will open, but you don't shut. So Krishna conscious movement, what Prabhupada opened, he says, everyone can live in this house. So ICC, Bangalore, shortly going to open the bigger doors. But you are the custodians. You are the owner of this temple of legacy of Srila Prabhupada. It's not me. It's all of you. So if you don't prepare yourself, then somebody else will come and open the door.